In this tutorial, I will show you one of the way how to knit the reverse stockinette stitch. The reverse stockinette stitch made up of knit and purl stitches where the knit side is a wrong side and purl side is a right side. With 2 knitting needles, cast on any number of stitches. I'll cast on 12 stitches for demonstration. The first and the last stitch of every row will be my H stitches, so my pattern takes 10 stitches. For casting on, I'm using a long tail cast on method. Here I have 12 cast on stitches on my needles. Now I need to take off one of the needle that is going to be my working needle. To continue, hold the main needle in your left hand and work with the working needle creating the next row of stitches. For reverse stockinette stitch, knit stitches are worked on the wrong side of the fabric and purl stitches are worked on the right side. So the first row is a row of purl stitches. To begin, move the working yarn to the front of the main needle and slip the first stitch purlwise. Insert the working needle purlwise into the first loop and slide the loop from the main to the working needle. Then work a row of purl stitches. I'm working the purl stitches using the first method. Insert the working needle into the front leg of the next loop. Move the working yarn under the point of the needle. Take the yarn and pull it through the loop. Slide off the loop on the main needle. Purl stitch is made. Continue, insert the working needle into the front leg of the next loop. Move the yarn, take the yarn and pull it through. Slide off the loop on the main needle. Again, insert the working needle into the front leg. Move the yarn, take the yarn and pull it through. Slide off the loop on the main needle. Continue and work purl stitches the same way. Work the same through an each of next loop until you have one loop on your main needle. I remind you that this is our first row of purl stitches. Purl stitches I'm working with first method shown in our previous tutorials. Here is our last loop. For the H we need to purl the last stitch as well. And the first row is made. Now turn the work and switch the needles. Work knit stitches on the wrong side. Working yarn is behind the main needle. For the H, slip the first loop. Then knit the knit stitch into the back leg of the loop. Insert the working needle into the back leg. Grab the yarn and pull it through. And slide off the loop on the main needle. Continue and knit the next stitches the same way. Work across the row until the last stitch. I remind you that to knit the knit stitch, you need to have the working yarn on the back of the main needle. Insert the working needle into the back leg, grab the yarn, pull it through, and slide off the loop on the main needle. The H stitch work as a purl stitch. Now switch the needles and work the next right side row, which is a row of purl stitches. For the H, insert the needle purlwise and slip the first stitch and continue with the row of purl stitches. Working yarn is in front of the needle and work the purl stitches using the first method. Insert the working needle into the front. Move the yarn, take the yarn, pull it through the loop and slide off the loop on the main needle. Continue, work the same across the row till the last loop. Here is my last loop. Work a purl stitch. Now continue with the next row. Turn the work to the wrong side. Slip the first slip purlwise for the edge, and each stitch that you knit on the wrong side should be a knit stitch. I'm working knit stitches, inserting the needle into the back leg of loops. Work until you reach the last stitch. The last stitch is an edge stitch. Work it as a purl stitch. To purl, working yarn is in front of the main needle and work a purl stitch with the first method. Here how reverse stockinette stitch looks from the right side. On the right side we have purl stitches, and this is the wrong side where we worked knit stitches. To make a nice edge on my knitted piece, I worked the edge stitches as well. Thank you so much for watching.